All right, we're checking out the only game where being close to your family will rip you apart from a molecular level. It's Universe Sandbox. I did it again, right there. Okay, I zoomed in, paused immediately. Florida. Okay, super important. Now you'll notice the Earth here has been renamed to Vin Diesel. Now normally I would just name the moon family, but I just realized that this version of the world that I created doesn't have a moon, so we're gonna have to spawn a moon in. The problem is I have absolutely no idea off the top of my head how far the moon is supposed to be from the Earth, but that's good. Because today, we're going to be reducing the orbit that the moon goes around the Earth just to see what it does. I'm curious at what point the Earth stops functioning. Like, I've made the Earth smaller, and I've made the moon bigger, and I've made the moon orbit faster, and I've made the Earth spin faster. But I've never just made the moon go closer and closer over time in order to determine how exactly it murders everyone on the planet. Well, it appears that Google tells me that the moon is 238,900 miles from the Earth. Actually, not that bad. I expected it to be a lot farther. What is that in kilometers? Because Universe Sandbox's main metric here is kilometers. Okay, in case anyone was wondering, that's 384,400 kilometers. So let's see here, 308. Can we not go right to AU? All right, you know what? How far is that in astronomical units? 0026. Thank you. We have an answer. I'm not gonna lie, if it suddenly just made it so I could do this in kilometers, I would have closed the entire game down. Right about. We're gonna make this absolutely perfect. Boom. Right there. The moon is prepared. I'm sorry, it's not the moon, it's family. Now, as we can see, right over here, Vin Diesel's composition, looking very good. I can bring up the different data charts so that we can observe as Vin Diesel's temperature remains mostly consistent. The orbit of the moon, looking fantastic. The ice on the surface of the planet, not depleting rapidly. Isn't that lovely? Now, the very first thing that I'm going to do is decrease the orbit of family here so that it can actually be in kilometers and not in astronomical units. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab our tools and we shall move family closer. There we go. Now we've shaved off about whatever it is, like 25%. It is now 00.21 AU from the Earth. I'm sorry, from Vin Diesel. Now I'm gonna go ahead and slow things down a little bit here and we'll let them zoom off into the sunset together. You can see how close they are. Don't worry, you're gonna be getting a lot closer. Now, one thing I've noticed, and I kinda assumed this would happen, is that the water depth is going up pretty quickly because the moon's getting closer, and so I assume the, like, tidal pull is getting stronger. And thus, at any point when the moon is pulling the tides around, the overall depth is getting deeper in that area. I don't know, gas pressure seems fine. I honestly don't know if having the moon closer to the Earth is going to mess around with that. Now, the cool part is that normally what happens is the water gets deeper because the poles melt and it floods the entire planet. But not this time. Right now, the poles and the ice thickness is staying exactly the same. We're just yanking the water around by like the scruff of its neck. Now, normally on Earth, about 92% of the population is alive at any one given time. What? Yeah, okay, 92.4. So for the most part, everyone's fine. It's no big deal. Nothing has really happened yet. We're gonna go back over here to family. Actually, you'll notice the orbit changes quite a bit. Like the distance to Earth right now, it kind of like swings a little bit. So at its farthest, it's like 200,000 kilometers away from Earth, but eventually it goes down to 90. All right, well, let's move it in a little bit here. Let's move it this distance right now. Let's put this at 150,000. How about that? There we go. That snaps right in. We'll go ahead and slow things down. Bring up our tables here and go. There's family. Family's coming to the barbecue. Vin Diesel might not want family to come to the barbecue because it's totally possible that family is eventually going to take Vin Diesel's house and like attach several clusters of C4 to it. Is the water depth continuing to go absolutely ballistic?
Yikes.
It is. Let's go ahead and speed things up here. Here we go. I was kind of curious if there was a point where the water depth would finally cease, because it's gone up quite a bit in the last few months. Now, the temperature of the planet is very stable, okay? Not much going on here. Getting a little colder as time goes on, but that's because we're in winter. I was kind of curious. I wanted to, like, do a little graph of the surface temperature. The surface temperature of the planet is kind of just dropping, like, permanently. Like, if I speed up here, there it goes. Now it's coming back up. Okay, then it drops, and then it comes back up, and then it drops, and then it comes back up, and we're still dropping. What is going on? How come having families slightly closer to you, look at it, look at the frost continue to work its way down. Is it because there's less water on the entire planet to like insulate the different parts of the planet? Because now more of the water is being pulled to the middle of the planet. So there's less water up here by like, you know, Canada or New York. And so everything is just frosting. Okay, we finally, you know, flatlined a little bit here. It has leveled off. And we've leveled off at negative 33 degrees Celsius for the standard temperature on the planet. I also have the heat signature over here so that we can see, you know, what the temperature is in good old Florida. And in case anyone's wondering, about 65 degrees Fahrenheit in the middle of summer. Well, let's go ahead and bring it in. I mean, what could go wrong? We'll do 90,000 kilometers now. We'll bring it down by like another 20%, 30%. There we go. Now again, I don't know at what point family will just like give up and just smash into the earth and kill us all. Now you can see, as the years have gone by, we've stabilized on the surface temperature. But again, now that we've moved it in closer, this might continue to drop. How's everyone doing? Because it's getting pretty cold. We've lost 1%. That's it. Just 1% from losing like an overall surface temperature of whatever, like 5 degrees Celsius. 100% that 1% was in Florida. They cannot survive if it's not over 85 degrees at all times. Listen, I've seen it get down to like 35 degrees here in Florida, and people thought that it was the apocalypse. Like, people were coming outside in body armor. All right, let's go ahead and really move things along here. What just happened to the surface temperature? We've got an unusual situation here, folks. The surface temperature of the planet has now seemingly recovered quite a bit. Like, look, now it's at 18.5 in the dead of summer. Okay, that's fine. All right, it's going to cool off a little bit in winter, but let's see where it gets to now. Now we're going to go back into summer and right around 18.5. The liquid depth is getting pretty bad. We're at like 9,000 meters compared to where we started. I find it interesting how the surface temperature of the planet doesn't really fluctuate at all now. So, odd thing, the ice thickness is going up as time goes on, like quite a bit. But overall, life likelihood, still totally fine. We've only lost 0.1% of the Earth's similarity. How about that? All right, family, no problem. We'll go ahead and grab you and we'll move you in a little bit more. Now, where is it at its absolute closest? Okay, at its closest, it's like 25,000 kilometers away. So considering before it was supposed to be like, what was it, like 300 something thousand kilometers? It's like 0.0026 AU originally. It is pretty close. One of the things you can actually do is fly down to the surface. Oh, just looking at the sky over here. Just kind of chilling out on the surface of the Earth. Wanted to see if the moon looked any bigger. In case you're all wondering, that's what the moon currently looks like in the sky. So if you were just, here, hold on, let me turn off all the labels and the trails. If you were just hanging out outside and you looked up at night, that's how big the moon is right now. That is kind of concerning when you can see with the naked eye all of the topography of the moon. But that's still not close enough because the Earth is still in one piece. I just wanted to kind of see how the orbit was doing. So what happens if I change the orbit, like, in mid-orbit? Well, the problem is the number's moving pretty fast. I'm gonna take this 90,000 and move this down to 70,000. Yep. It pretty much equally just brings in the orbit all the way around. All right, let's not go that far yet. Let's do 80,000. Like I said, I want the destruction of Earth to happen, you know, over a period of time. Not really so much like a type of thing where, you know, the moon just crashes into it immediately and obliterates all mankind. I like that the life likelihood has gone up. So what does the moon look like right now when it is in its absolute closest orbit? So like right about, you know, like here. It is 20,000 kilometers away. Let us land on Africa. Whoop.
Hi.
Oh my God. So, that might be a problem. That actually looks like, you know, like the Death Star looming over the planet. I have no idea how we're still alive. Like, it's that close and it hasn't really done anything yet. Now it's just kind of, I've got it just kind of moving across the sky here. Now you get to see what it's like. Okay, you're chilling out. You're hanging out in Africa. The moon crossing the sky. Very large. Like, all right, family, you know, you can have your own space as well, okay? You're not coming to the gatherings anymore. Please stop. Okay, let's speed things up over here and see where the surface temperature and everything goes. Again, family, still very static. Still hasn't blown up the planet or anything like that. That's good. That's good.
But Gray, how's the water depth doing?
Still going up. Slower, but it is going up. Ice thickness is going up too. But again, the surface temperature has completely kind of stabilized nowadays. It's really not that bad. Composition-wise, like 8% of the people insta-died from that. They may have just had a heart attack from realizing how close family is nowadays. All right, again, we're gonna go ahead and wait until family is at its smallest part of the orbit over here. You know, right around over here or so. It is less than 20,000 kilometers from the Earth. 15. I am highly concerned at this point. Like, that thing is freakishly close right now. Even at its farthest distance, it's 31,000. Okay. Still alive. Yes, good. Temperature of the planet. Holding. Faster. Good. Okay, everything's still stable. Everything is totally fine. I mean, if you get down to the surface of the Earth, it may not look fine. We can go check this out. Again, at its closest point, we're going to land, I don't know where we are. I think we're in the middle of the ocean right now. Oh, that ain't good. This is like something out of the Sci-Fi Channel at this point. Like, the moon takes up most of your field of view when you're looking at the sky now. Okay, 10,000 kilometers away. I had to look it up. The Earth's diameter is 12,756 kilometers. So there is now less than an Earth away from the family. I'm gonna go ahead and slow things way down because at this point, you would think that bad things are gonna start happening, right? Like, it has to. Okay. Everyone all right? Everyone fine? I mean, no. Like, you know, we're still at 84.9% life likelihood, so that has definitely gone down. Oh no! We have a problem. We have an instantaneous problem. The family's coming apart. Vin Diesel is in fact ripping the family apart, and it landed right in the middle of South America and Africa. Florida is unscathed, fortunately. Yes, nothing quite like being 2,500 degrees Celsius in the middle of South America. The atmospheric pressure has changed. The gas pressure has definitely changed. Look at the swath of liquid, the liquid depth change. Because all of the liquid here started to evaporate very, very quickly. So, like, you know, it's still a kilometer deep, but you go up a little bit and it drops down to the more appropriate 5.5 kilometers deep. Oh, no. Oh, it's kind of smiling. See, it's like a little smiley face. So we have learned so far that moving from, like 15,000 to 10,000 kilometers, that was the death zone right there. That is the zone of instantaneous sadness. How sad, you might be asking? Almost every single person is gone. The life likelihood is 3%. So I have slowed things down substantially. Now, right now, the gas cover is going to be moving across the entire planet because, you know, all of the liquid right now is vaporizing. What's the average surface temperature of the Earth right now? Hey, Vin Diesel, how you doing, man? It's like,
well, it's 239 degrees Celsius. Not great.
Okay, we're moving at 28 seconds a second, and you can see how fast the Venus-like cloud of mist is covering Vin Diesel. Everyone on the backside over here, Australia, you're gonna be the last to go, I'm pretty sure. So, a couple of the fragments from the family are now also orbiting around Earth. I don't know if they're eventually going to be striking Earth. They are dangerously close. There's little particulates over here, like these fragments that happen to be moving at, I don't know, 25 kilometers a second that are also coming toward Earth. And here come the fragments. Okay. The fragments are getting kind of close. This fragment does look like it's inevitably going to impact the surface. It is going to impact the surface. Will it be by Australia? That is the real question I have. I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that those fragments have not, in fact, impacted with the Earth yet. The bad news is that the family's heating up a lot. Like the average temperature is now 600 degrees Celsius, and it's only going up over time very, very quickly. We did, in fact, have more impacts. It was not at Australia. I repeat, Australia is still fine. Okay, so far, we still have family. It's still there. There's not a ton of it, but it is okay. Now, if I got down on the Earth over here, how big would family be? Oh no. It does have a certain evil look to it when it's glowing red across the sky, vomiting out its different particles. Oh, see, there it goes, it's setting. Problem is, you don't know while it's setting if it's going to run into the other side of the planet. All right, this is probably just going, well, I know it's going to make matters worse, but we have to do it. So right now, it has stayed about 10,000 kilometers from Earth. So we're gonna reduce this down to 5,000. Woo! Oh no. Oh, I don't think that orbit is gonna keep it alive. You gotta slow things way down for this. Now, on the coldest area of Vin Diesel, it's negative 57 degrees Celsius. That's not too bad. Okay, there goes family. Family is moving. Things are fine. Life likelihood is resting at 7%, dropping rapidly. Okay, this is where it gets really bad, because it's going to basically angle grind the planet, like as it touches it over here. So here we go. Yep, that's beginning to rub. We'll go ahead and slow things down a little bit more. You know what they say, rubbing is racing. 3,700 degrees Celsius, where it just hit. You can watch as the liquid is gone immediately wherever family touches. Okay, you know what? I think it's gonna be okay though. I think there's still gonna be some family left after this. Now, it is vomiting chunks a lot. There is like a lot of molten popcorn flying off of family. They are starting to impact different areas of the planet. Can't actually tell where Australia is right now because the entire planet is covered in mist. Is anyone still alive? No. Okay, I thought that family was gonna make it past the orbit. It is actually going further and further and further and further and boop. So now it has fully impacted, and the flames of Ragnarok are starting to reverberate through the planet. It had gotten up to about 20,000 degrees Celsius. I love how there's just a random sunspot appearing down here now. So the question I have is, after this horrifying incident of becoming far too close to your family, can the Earth like recover if enough time goes by? Like if we just let things go here, okay? And then see, You know, all the flaming death is gone. Okay, the months are passing. The years, look at the temperature. Temperature is returning. The temperature is coming down slowly but surely. The life likelihood is going up. Not by much, you know, we're in the 10,000ths of a percent or whatever at this point, but all right, a little faster. Can we get to 1% life likelihood? Can we do that? Okay, a little faster. Now, the problem is I don't know how much is left of our atmosphere. Also, most of the liquid was removed. Yeah, we're just losing liquid depth over time. Now, the reason that we are losing liquid depth is because, you know, the liquid is slowly moving across the rest of the planet again. So I've moved things along hundreds and hundreds of years. Vin Diesel never recovered. I find it interesting that the water slowly does urinate to the southern part of the globe and then just gets slurped back up. I went ahead and removed the atmosphere. It's real bad. There is water. It exists on half of the planet and not on the other half of the planet. And there's no grass or anything. It is just a barren wasteland. Well, I think that this shows us that if you get too close to your family, your life likelihood drops to almost zero. Anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed this episode of Universe Sandbox. Till next time, stay foxy and much love.